friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today I'm going to be doing a Shop My Stash. I created this very cozy, simple fall look right here. It's not up yet, but I did already film a fall makeup favorites, and in that video I discussed how I want to use most, if not all, of those products in Get Ready With Me's over this season. So this is using a lot of those products that will be mentioned in that video, so stay tuned for that. It should be up within the next week or so, I would imagine. But yeah, I created this look today. Very fall vibes, very cute. I also chatted about what it's like just owning my own salon business and things like that. So if you want to know a little more the inside scoop of my day job, stay tuned for that as well. My plugs are from Love Kills Boutique. These earrings are from Undoubtedly Mad on Etsy. I don't know where this necklace is from off the top of my head. I want to say it's Palace of Glitter, but I bought it probably 3 or 4 years ago, so the likelihood of it not even being there is very high. So might be Palace of Glitter, but it basically doesn't exist. Anyways, let's just hop into it and create this look. I love doing these Shop My Stash videos. Hello, how's it going? Let's play with some makeup. Let's just create a nice cozy fall. I'm thinking fairly simple look. I feel like I've been doing a lot more intricate looks lately, so let's do something a little more simple but still just very fall and cute. I'm also going to answer some of your questions about what it's like being a hairstylist, being my own boss, having my own studio, things like that. I get questions a lot, so I ask for questions on Twitter and Instagram. So let's talk about those while I do my makeup today. Sorry I keep looking down, that's so rude. I'm trying to find my Twitter post. If I fail to mention something as I'm doing my makeup, it's always in the description box, so just check there if I didn't say something and you're curious. I did already prime. I used the Becca First Lite priming filter. I'm just trying to go through that because it used to be my favorite and I still like it, but I think it's one of those primers that once I'm done with it, I think I'll be done with it forever. So I'm just trying to get use out of it right now. It does make the skin really glowy. I just have other primers I prefer now, like the Glossier Future Dew, one of my favorites. And of course I already did my brows. I do my brows right after primer so that my primer can sink into the skin while I'm doing that, and now we can move on. For foundation, I've been busting out my Milk Makeup Flex foundation stick again because I've just felt like it. I don't do a whole lot, I just do a couple little moments around the face. Oh, I'm like destroying this little stick here. Let's see, I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of pick questions. If I skip your specific question, it's only because I probably answered it to enough extent with a different question. I will get to as many as possible. I had quite a few questions on Instagram. This first question on Twitter is, do I ever have clients that ask you to just do whatever you want, whether it be color-wise or cut-wise? If so, do you like doing those types of cuts and colors? So with that, I feel like most of the time, 99% of the time, if someone says do whatever you want, they don't actually mean that. They actually have something they want. They just don't know how to explain it. So I usually just kind of have a very thorough consultation, kind of figure out their lifestyle, their absolute like off limits, never give me that kind of thing. And just kind of narrow it down until I feel like I've decided on something that is also fun and exciting and allows me to express myself creatively, but also something they definitely want at the same time. I do have a couple people that truly mean do whatever you want when they say that, and that's really fun. I will just kind of do whatever I feel like suits them and suits the mood. But for the most part, people don't actually mean that. This next question is, how do you start? Honestly, how do you get clientele? Well, I personally started by working at a corporate salon right after cosmetology school. I actually worked in my local mall. I worked through the Regis company. I worked at a salon called Hair Plus. And most of those salons are closed down now anyways. The Regis company definitely like went downhill, and I saw that coming a mile away. They were not doing so hot. But I do feel like starting in a place that has walk-ins and a place where you can kind of start from scratch is a really good spot. I don't recommend starting in just a commission-based spot right after school because, I don't know, like you don't have a clientele and then you might just be stuck at work for 8 hours and not make any money if you're only on commission. The way the pay worked at the Regis salons when I first started was it was hourly or commission, whichever was higher for you. So at least you got that base rate of minimum wage when you were starting out and didn't have a clientele. And then honestly, you just treat every walk-in like they could be a permanent person. Obviously there's some exceptions. You can definitely sniff out some kooky people that you don't necessarily jive with, and that's okay. You're not going to mesh with everybody. But for the most part, every single person that walks in that door that you get to see treat them as if you want to see them again, because they could potentially be someone you see again for years and years and years. So many of my people are people that I had as walk-ins at that mall salon. I don't really keep business cards now just because in the position I'm in where I have my own studio, I feel like anyone that contacts me has a means of contacting me. I don't take walk-ins anymore, so for myself personally, business cards are just not really what I need right now. But when I was at the mall salon, I did have business cards because I wanted all of these new walk-ins that I was seeing to remember who I was and come back to me, and that usually worked. I think in the beginning I used to do like a referral program that was through Regis. It wasn't like my own idea, it was corporate, but basically you like give your new person this referral card, and if they refer someone to you and they bring that card, both people get like 10% off or something like that. I don't remember the details, but there's lots of little things you can do to kind of build up your business. It does take a little while to kind of get the ball rolling at first, especially when you're new, because it's scary. I mean, at least I was scared. I was terrified. I was not one of those overly confident, thought I knew everything people. I definitely knew that I still had a lot to learn, which everyone who graduates school does. No one knows everything. Post your work on social media, that helps a lot, even just your own personal Facebook, but I do recommend maybe making an Instagram account as well. I get a lot of people through Instagram, so that's really cool. But yeah, I feel like my main takeaway is start somewhere where you can build a clientele easier, where you can get the walk-ins and things like that. And it was also nice having that comfort of having minimum wage at first when I was first starting, before I really had enough clientele to work on commission. Just a general artistic type question. You're so colorful on screen and have such cool visions with your makeup style. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. What are your most favorite kinds of hairstyles and techniques to do? I really like working with blondes. I like working with vivids. I really like doing just more corrective work or just longer processes. I like being with the same person for like 4 hours at a time, if not longer. I don't know, I like doing fun stuff. I still like doing more simple things as well, like I'll totally just throw an all over color on you. We can tone it down, do some browns, do some reds, things like that. But I think my favorite things are like blondes, teasy lights, balayage. And then with my vivids, I just love playing with all the rainbow colors, fun color melts, things like that. Those are my favorites. This person said, I just opened my own studio. What do you find works best to get new clients in your chair? As far as being in my studio and getting new people, well, I'll tell you right now, I started getting so much busier when I went on my own. The amount of new people I started seeing when I went on my own versus being in the corporate salon for almost 4 years grew drastically. It's insane. I honestly couldn't believe it. I didn't think I would gain as many new people just because I wasn't taking walk-ins anymore. I had enough of a clientele that I would have been fine completely, but I was just shocked at how many new people suddenly wanted to come in. I felt like my guests were more excited to refer people, so the fact that you're just in a new studio now, it might just encourage your guests to want to advertise you more, because at this point technically you are your own small business kind of thing. Again, social media helps so much. I constantly post my availability online. Usually once a week I'll post my availability for the next 2 or 3 weeks or so. You can do a referral program if you want to, if you feel like you need to. I personally don't really do that anymore because I stay busy enough without it, but if you're someone who's struggling to get new people, you could totally open a referral program. But I feel like social media is your biggest ally right now. We are in the age of social media, my friend. This next question is, how did you get started in the industry? I'd love to hear a bit about the start of your career, how you knew you wanted to be a hairstylist, schooling, previous jobs, reaching the point of having your own studio. Okay, so I started cosmetology school right after high school. I graduated like, I guess May, June, something like that. And then I started cosmetology school that August of 2012. So I just took like a normal summer break kind of thing, and then I dove into school. I personally did the part-time program. In Florida, it's 1,200 hours to get your cosmetology license, which breaks down to either, I think it's 10 months if you do the full-time program or 20 months if you do part-time. Like I said, I did part-time. I had 2 jobs while I did school. I worked an overnight job and had a day job and did part-time school, so I had no choice. I could not have done full-time school. Although I think I graduated early. I think I did enough extra work that I graduated in like 19 months. I think I finished literally a whole month early. Maybe like 3 weeks early. I think I started at the end of August 2012 and I graduated early April 2014. So yeah, I knew I wanted to be a hairstylist just because I knew I wanted to do something creative. I actually was really into my drama program in high school, and I thought it would be fun to, I knew I didn't want to be an actress because I just didn't think I was cut out for that, and it's also hard to break into that industry, and I'm not about that life. I needed a little more security than that, but I thought maybe it'd be cool to get into cosmetology and then maybe work with movies or just film productions, Broadway, things like that. I don't really want to do that anymore because I don't really like doing makeup and stylistic hair on people. I don't do wedding hair and things like that, so that's not really where I plan on ending up, but that's kind of how I initially decided I wanted to do it. It just was a matter of doing it and getting my hands on it to decide that I just wanted to do like color, hair cutting, styling in the sense of I'll curl your hair at the end of your service, but I don't do like fancy hair. I don't do proms or weddings. My previous jobs I had were, well, in senior year of high school, I actually held a sign on the side of the road for a Verizon. I did that for like 2 hours a day after school, 5 days a week. Such a silly job, but I mean, it worked. One summer, I think between junior and senior year, I worked as like a camp counselor type deal for like a 4-H camp. Very my speed, right? During cosmetology school, I worked as a cashier for a Winn-Dixie, and then I worked overnights as a cashier for Sweet Bay while also working for Zane's dad at his martial arts school that he owned. And I think those are my only jobs actually, besides then getting into hair. I worked all of my jobs a couple years at a time though, minus the little high school jobs, but my grocery store and Zane's dad, I worked all those for quite a couple years. For blush, I'm dipping into the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in Spiced Apple. It's just so cute. Love this little fall toned blush. The only salons I've worked at are the corporate salon in my mall through the Regis company for almost 4 years. Looking back, I did not need to be there 4 years. I probably could have left closer to 3, but I don't know. I stay attached to jobs. I feel this, I don't know, compelling urge to stay loyal to them. I don't know if that makes sense. I know that's a me problem, but I felt like I had to be there. And then eventually it just got to the point where the company was doing not great. They weren't treating us that well. Not my manager in particular, just the company wasn't great anymore. And I just felt like I needed more. I was very stagnant. When you're at corporate, you don't get to like do your own pricing or choose what services you get to do or necessarily choose your people until you get to the point where you're just so booked that you aren't seeing a lot of walk-ins, which is where I was right before I left. You don't get to choose what products you use. And I don't know, I was starting to feel a little bit burnt out, and then I finally made the move to my own studio, and that's where I'm at now, and I've been here for about 2 years now. Yeah, because I've been doing this for about 6 years now. Crazy, time goes by so quick. I was terrified to switch to working for myself though. I thought I was going to fail. I thought I was destined for disaster. All I did for like the whole month leading up to my move was stress math. I was constantly like running the numbers on how often I see certain people, how much money I typically bring in, how much expenses I'm gonna have. I thought I was doomed. I was like, I'm gonna be fine, like it's gonna be good, but I'm gonna fail. Worst case scenario, I was terrified. But I've done nothing but excel so far. I've brought in so many more people from the get-go. I've stayed so busy. I switched my entire color line from the Matrix brand, which I used to use, to Guy Tang's line because I wanted to switch to something more creative and exciting and also cruelty-free, so that's how that happened. I don't know, it's definitely been like the best decision I've ever made in my life. I love working for myself. I love choosing my own hours. I love choosing which services I want to provide. I love using whatever products I want to use, being able to educate myself on whatever I want to use. It's just so much fun. I feel so much more inspired and excited, and I just love it. I think that's it for Twitter. I didn't have a ton of questions on Twitter. Let's go to Instagram because I had a fair amount on there. A lot of people want to know what's my favorite between like coloring and cutting. As a general rule, I like coloring, but I wouldn't ever want to be put in just one box because I also like being able to cut and style my own people's hair. I wouldn't want them to have to go somewhere else, if that makes sense. I like doing it all, but if I had to pick one to do all day long, it would be coloring. It's exhausting to do back-to-back haircuts all day long. I have days like that sometimes, and it's very tiring. Let's do some freckles. I want to be incredibly freckled today, so we're just gonna go to town while I answer another question. Is finding insurance that suits you hard for anything like health insurance and insurance on your business? Thankfully, with the setup for my salon suite, the rent that I pay each week also includes business insurance, so I didn't even have to worry about doing that separately, which is really cool. And I don't have health insurance because I don't agree with how America does things, and I don't want to pay for it. What Zane and I do use is we have a direct primary care doctor, and we just pay her a monthly fee, and we can go see her as much as we want, no extra cost. So that's amazing. We are very good about keeping money in savings, so obviously I don't want this to happen, but say a horrible accident happens, we'd be able to just take care of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, insurance is so expensive. Through Zane's job for both of us to get on his insurance, it's like $500 or $600 a month. And I'm like, I'm just not about to drop that. And it's not like you get free healthcare after that. You still have to pay co-pays. I don't know, I could go on a whole rant about that, and I know not everyone's going to agree with me, but thankfully Zane and I are healthy now. So it's not really something we have to worry about. I'm able to get my female care taken care of through my direct primary care physician, and I don't know, it's working for us right now. It's just not something that we want to pay for at the moment. I know my face looks very polka dotty right now. Stay with me, it's gonna be fine. I wanted to have a nice layer underneath, and then I'm kind of going over now with my remnants on my blush brush to help fade things. And then I'm going to go in with my Freck XL to just add even more and kind of disperse things around. How do I advertise my business? Just social media. That's pretty much all I use my personal Facebook for, is just posting my work so that my friends and friends of friends can see it. I have an Instagram account. It's called Alchemy Salon Butte Bean. If you ever want to catch my work, I do share it on my Instagram stories all the time. So if you follow my Butte Bean Instagram, you'll definitely see them on my stories. But just Instagram and my personal Facebook. I don't personally use Facebook pages because it's not good. You pretty much have to pay to get your stuff shown out to people, so just using my personal one works totally fine. I keep it all on public so everyone can share my stuff. And I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't pay for things. It's just word of mouth. That's another way. Things like that. Is it hard to obtain some hair products when you order them? I mean, there's certain brands, like I use the Uberless keratin treatment. I have to order that directly from their site, so it's hard in the sense that I can't get it instantaneously. But pretty much everything else that I use, I'm able to get at my professional supply stores. It's been difficult lately just because with shipping being crazy, my stores aren't carrying absolutely everything right now because things are so delayed. So there are some things I have to go directly to like Guy Tang's website and buy if I'm running low on a certain color, but for the most part, things aren't that difficult. I think this is the most freckled I've made myself in a very long time, and I don't care if you don't like it. What made you decide to own your own salon instead of working at someone else's salon? So I don't like to say I own my own salon. That's why I always say studio. I just have a studio. I don't have employees. Morgan and I do share the studio. We work opposites, but I don't have a salon. I don't want employees. But what initially made me want to do it is just, I like being alone. I like being able to have the power of doing my own thing whenever I want. This is the Ray Rider highlight from Kaleidos, by the way. I don't know, I just wanted to try taking care of myself. I feel like I was sick of, I don't know, I had some lazy coworkers and I was tired of taking care of other people. I just wanted to focus on myself, so that's kind of how I decided, and I don't regret it for a second. I think I will be working alone forever. I love it. Gonna spray my face now with my Pixi Glow Mist, and then we will work on eyes. For eyeshadow today, we're going to be using my Lime Crime Venus 2 palette. I haven't used this in quite a while, and I'm excited to because it's such a cute fall palette. Like, those colors, it's so fall, it's so cute. I'm thinking I'm mostly just going to have mustard smeared all over the eye. I'm going to deepen up the outer corner a little bit with mud, and I might top fly just kind of over the top of everything to give it kind of a glossier look, but we'll see when we get there. I also might leave my lower lash line blank, but I also might smoke it out. We'll just see. So I'm going in with mustard first, with just this kind of tapered blending brush. This is the Miss Shady Lady from MOTD Cosmetics, and I didn't prime my eyelids yet. What's wrong with me? I'm just gonna use my Urban Decay primer potion because that's what I've been using lately, and I'm enjoying it. What are the hardest and best parts about being your own boss? Hardest is it's a lot of stress in the sense that it's a lot to think about. I have to keep track of inventory. I have to make sure that I'm staying busy. I have to keep myself accountable, which I have a very good work ethic, I think. So it's not hard for me to just work constantly, but at the same time, it can be hard for me to take a break and not feel the need to work all the time. It's been a balancing act. I've gotten better at it over these last 2 years of doing this on my own, but that's probably the hardest part, is balancing work and home. The best parts are just all the things I've listed already. I love being by myself. I love only focusing on myself. I love being able to use what I want, being able to do what I want, wear what I want. I had to wear all black at the mall salon. It's nice being able to literally wear whatever. I also wasn't allowed to wear hats, which was a really weird rule because you can totally style a hat with a really cute hairstyle. But that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I can do whatever I want. It's nice. I'm not stuck working till 9 p.m. anymore. There were a lot of nights that I closed in the mall and I had to work till 9. And that is so late, in my opinion, to be doing hair. I like to be off now between like 7 and 8. And really 7 is my preferred. It's just once in a while someone's able to sucker me into staying till 8. Look how beautiful this mustard is. It's so pretty. Looks like straight up squash on my eyes right now. It's so nice. How do I manage work in YouTube? I don't. All I do is work. What does help me, I will say, is I started keeping a note in my phone for probably the last 6 months or so, where I'll have all 7 days of the week listed out, and then I'll have salon and YouTube, and I track how many hours I spend on each day. So that way it can kind of hold me accountable and be like, Betty Jean, you've already been working for 45 hours this week and it's only Thursday. Maybe don't film the next 2 days, okay? It kind of helps me out if I'm able to visually see, like, you're working a 10-hour day in the salon. Don't stress about filming that day as well. It does help me. Before that, I was just literally nonstop. Film, work, film, work, film, work. And it was taking a toll on me mentally. Whew. I was so tired. So that helps me. I'm still trying to find a good balance, but it's a daily task of trying to balance it to where I'm not overworking myself, but I also feel so lazy if I'm not working constantly. It's a whole thing. What's the most fun hairstyle I like to do on people? I just love being able to do creative, vivid, like multicolored things. I have a couple people, they tell me like, I want to play with greens, but they're literally cool with me doing whatever I want in that realm. Or if someone says they want me to play with like pinks and purples, I can do whatever I want. Like they don't have like a specific, like it has to look exactly like this. They're like, just play with pinks and purples, do whatever you want. That's my favorite because I feel so creative. It's so much fun. I love playing with vivids. I'm gonna take a little bit of mud now, that darker one, on this little tapered brush. This is a Luxie 131. And I'm just gonna use this to deepen up my outer corner and blend it into the yellows and also smoke out my lower lash because clearly I put a lot of yellow down here. I wanna add some more depth. This is a good question. Why are some products only sold through a stylist and not a regular store? I don't have like an exact answer. This is just my opinion, but I'm pretty sure it's because some brands want to maintain a level of exclusivity. They don't want to risk being sold like through a third party or anything like that because, for instance, like Redken and like these brands that are really big, they're also sold in grocery stores. They're technically not supposed to be sold in grocery stores or even any brand that you see at like a TJ Maxx or anything like that. They aren't technically authorized to be there. Same with Amazon. Be really careful with that stuff. A lot of it's expired or repackaged. Always make sure you're buying your professional products from a reputable place or a stylist that sells it. Places like Ulta, that's totally safe. Sephora, that is fine. But just be very careful when you're buying it from other places. A lot of the time the price is insanely marked up too at places like Amazon, TJ Maxx. Well, TJ Maxx, they cut the price down a lot, but again, can't promise you it's not old or repackaged. But I think some brands just want to maintain a level of exclusivity. I think that's the main reason. Again, I know that's not like a great answer, but that's the best answer I have for you. What are some universal client don'ts? I don't want to make my stylist life harder. Don't wait until the last second to cancel or reschedule. Very rude. I mean, a lot of people will have a reschedule fee or a cancellation fee, but either way, it's still very rude. We get really excited to see you and we don't like when you cancel last minute. Obviously emergencies that happen, like if you're sick or like a crazy family emergency happens, that's different, but don't just be negligent. Also, don't wait until you're at your appointment to suddenly totally switch up what you want to do. I've had instances where like I had 3 hours blocked out for someone and then they suddenly decide they just want like a toner and a haircut. So like a 3-hour appointment suddenly shifts down to like an hour and that sucks. Suddenly such a huge loss of money and a loss of time. Time is money. And on the flip side, don't try to suddenly want to increase your service by a long time because they might not necessarily have time. You're totally welcome to ask if there's time for something extra, but don't act like snuffy about it because you waited till the last second to decide you wanted to extend something. Let's see. Also, when you're trying to book with someone, whether it's someone you regularly see or not, don't just say like, what availability do you have? Because it's like, for what? Or I have people that are like, how much for a color? And it's like, what kind of color? You have to be a little more specific. I always recommend sending like a picture of your hair, some inspiration pics. Don't ever expect to look exactly like a picture because everyone's hair is different. That's why I always say inspiration pictures, not just what do you want. It's not a restaurant, you can't just like pick one off the menu, you know what I mean? Look how pretty this eye look is. It's so just yummy. It looks like squash soup or something. I'm just gonna take a little more of that fly shade that I did press a little bit over my lid with. I'm sure I have other client don'ts, but I try not to be too nitpicky. I try to be pretty fair. I guess that's like my best ones though, like just try to be as respectful as possible, I guess. Oh, also, if you're running late, don't wait until the time of your appointment to say, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late. It's like, well, yeah, clearly you're not here. If you know you're running a little late, try to give as much notice as possible. Like even if like you're 5 minutes away and you realize you're gonna be like 10 minutes until you get there, like say it then. Don't wait till the time of your appointment to say, hey, I'm another 5 minutes out. Just so that maybe the stylist can like eat real quick. Because you never know, that could have like been the only opportunity they could have eaten that day. Have you ever done a hair color or style on a client and then decided you also wanted to do the same on you? I don't think I've ever done one of my guests' hair and wanted to do the exact same thing. I've definitely been inspired. You know what, we still have some questions, so I'll just work on my other eye while we answer some. I never do both eyes on camera just because it makes my editing life easier. But yeah, I feel like I've definitely done some guests where it's like, oh, this is a really cute shade. Maybe I'll try that on me eventually, but I don't think I've ever completely copied what I did on somebody else. How difficult is it to run your own business? It's definitely time consuming, but I also feel like I'm very good at the manager side of things. I actually kind of like doing the math. I like writing down things and keeping everything organized for tax purposes and inventory and just everything like that. So I don't know, there's parts of it that I like. I kind of like that businessy work, but it is a lot to just think about. It's a lot of pressure because it's your responsibility. But it just depends on the kind of person you are. This could be really hard for somebody else. And I'm not saying it's easy for me, but there's just things about it that I feel like a lot of people would really dislike that I actually kind of find enjoyable. Do you like when clients give you creative freedom, or do you prefer for them to tell you exactly what they want? See, it's like the in-between, because like I said in the beginning, nobody ever wants creative freedom. Like, I don't care who you are. Most people, 99% of people, do not actually want you to do whatever you want. I mean, even myself, like I'm pretty chill about my hair, but if I sat down and said like, do whatever you want, I know there's also things that I don't want, like don't color my hair black. I would not be happy. That's the only color I've never had and I don't want it. So like there's always gonna be something you don't want. So most people aren't cool with literally do whatever you want. But at the same time, I don't really like when people are like, I want exactly this, because I'm like, it's not gonna be exactly that. I'll get you as close as possible to what your hair can do, but it's not gonna be exactly that. So I like just saying like, this is a good inspiration. We're gonna get your version for your hair, things like that. I don't know if that makes sense. I like kind of an in-between. I like when people have inspiration pictures and ideas, but they're also cool with me being able to work with them and figure out like what's gonna work best for them and being able to express my creativity as well, because in a sense, I'm an artist. I want to be able to be creative. You're coming to see me because you like my work. What's the most rewarding part? I feel like I have two answers. One, being able to make people happy. That's such a rewarding feeling. I love that people trust me and I help them feel their best. That's such a good feeling. But as far as the business side of things, it's so rewarding that I started my own like salon studio business at 24 years old and it's been doing great. I haven't had a month where things are stressful other than quarantine. Obviously that sucked, being out of work for 2 months. It's really rewarding seeing that so far I'm doing well with it, and that's just so cool because I was so certain I was gonna fail. I was listing out every worst case scenario, but that's anxiety for you folks. Did you go to beauty school / do you have a degree in business, or did you learn along the way? You have to go to cosmetology school in the United States, at least, for like to be able to do this. You have to go to school to get your license. So yes, I went to school. And no, I did not go to business school. I've never been to college. I only went to cosmetology school. I've just been learning along the way, doing the best I can. I'd like to think I'm fairly smart, and I'm also pretty good at math and things like that. And I don't know, I'm really good at staying organized. So the businessy side of things are coming fairly easy to me. Again, not to say that I'm perfect or it is easy. It's just, it's not like hard per se. Stressful it can be, yes. But I feel like I'm doing pretty okay. Oh, I guess we're on the last question actually, which good timing because we're finishing up this eyeball soon. What's my favorite and least favorite thing about owning a business and being a hairdresser? Let's see. Favorite thing are all the things I've already listed. I love being independent. I love having control. Least favorite thing about having my own business, I guess, is sometimes I wish I could just like clock in, clock out and not have to like think outside of my hours, because I feel like my work hours don't really end. I don't really have a start time and a stop time, which that's something I need to do, but maybe next year. But for the most part, there isn't really anything I dislike about it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. As far as being a hairstylist, I love expressing my creativity. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I love making people happy and interacting with people. I just love it, especially this one-on-one situation where I'm in my studio and I don't have a whole bunch of people around me. It's so great. Least favorite thing? Probably just the fact that you don't get like a consistent paycheck. Like I don't know exactly how much money I'm gonna make every single month. It definitely fluctuates. I'm usually around the same zone. Like I've been steady enough with my people and getting new people that like I can kind of predict it, but at the same time it's not the exact same paycheck. But yeah, that is the last question. Again, I did skip around a little bit just because a lot of people had similar questions. So I tried to just hit up the general questions as much as possible. I hope this wasn't boring to any of you. A lot of you always ask questions, so I figured that's why I would do a little shop my stash while answering questions, you know? But yeah, this is my look. I'm going to throw on my eye pencil, lashes, lips, and I'll be back when I'm complete. Alright, so this is the look. It's very fall, very cozy. I knew I said this look was simple, and I feel like it is, but I feel like some people are going to think this isn't simple because I did a bold lip. But it's still simple to me. I think this is really cute. The eye pencil I paired with this is Melt Cosmetics Baked. I just wanted that nice mustard tone in here to complement everything else. The lashes I'm wearing are from Alter Ego. They're called Celeb. I like them. They're small, obviously, but I think they're cute. They kind of do this little flippy thing and I like it. And on my lips I'm wearing Chocolate Wasted from Dose of Colors. So yeah, this is the look. I hope you like it. Let's zoom out now and finish off this video. Alright, hello, that is it. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I hope it wasn't too boring listening to me talk about my like behind the scenes of what it's like having my own salon business, but like I said, I get questions all the time, so hopefully you found it interesting enough. If not, hopefully you enjoyed the makeup at the very least. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a honey pot emoji because I feel like that suits this look very nicely. And if you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BeatBee and follow me there. I post every single day. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Please make sure you're staying informed with Black Lives Matter. There's a link in my description box that will take you to resources and ways in which you can help. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.